Well, I read the book when it came out. I mean, I first started reading Neil's work in like the late 80s, whereas you came to it quite late.
The other way around, I read the scripts first. They arrived and I thought, this is brilliant. This is a great character. What an opportunity.
Take a big cup, put 6 shots of espresso into it, nothing else.
We sort of moved towards something a bit more of the now and a bit more sort of rock and roll, I suppose, because it feels like that Crowley sort of leans into whichever era he finds himself in. I'm back.
I can see that.
So originally Good Omens was announced as a limited series, and so were either of you surprised when they approached you about a season 2, or were there rumblings when you were doing season 1?
Well, we'd known from the beginning that Neil and Terry Pratchett, when Terry was still alive, had talked through the story way beyond what the book is, the original book is. So we knew there were ideas and possibilities, and indeed worked out stories for where it could go. But we didn't think that we were going to actually do them.
There was definitely no intention to make more than one.
No, but we knew they existed, and then. I think there wasn't like a moment where someone said, "And how do you feel about doing season 2?" It just sort of developed, and then it became clear that there was an appetite from the audience and an appetite from the people who were making it. And we all, I mean, it
didn't meet a lot of resistance from us. So
playing these characters, we love this story. We love working with Neil. So it was, it was a definite from us.
You spotted Gabriel?
He's definitely not in the shop. It's just Aziraphale.
The traitor.
And his grumpy friend, Mr. Crowley.
The demon.
Oh, I suppose that explains the grumpiness.
So when diving into like adapted material like this, did you guys read the original book, or did you just let the script speak for themselves?
Well, I'd read the book when it came out. I mean, I first started reading Neil's work in like the late 80s, and I started with Sandman. And so I became a fan of Neil's, and that's what led me to the book that he did with Terry. So I'd read the book when it first came out and was a fan, like like everybody else who was a fan of the book. Whereas you came to it quite late.
The other way around, I read the scripts first. They arrived, and I thought, this is brilliant. This is a great character. What an opportunity. And then once I knew that it was happening, then I went back and read the book, and so that's it. Yes, I suppose we came at it from completely different angles, but the characters are so vivid. They're you know, in the book and in the scripts. It just felt like they made sense, and they make most sense together. They are just this sort of perfect couple, really. So.
They really are. And so your costumes in the series are absolutely incredible. And so do you have any sort of collaboration with the costume designers on the show? Because the styles feel so distinct and they really work for your characters and developing their personalities.
That felt very collaborative.
Yes, it did, yeah.
I mean, I remember, it's sort of weird now to think back to those first costume fits, because
it was 2017.
But I can remember, I don't know if it was the same with you, but it could have gone in so many different directions. You know, the fact that I said, oh, let's try that jacket rather than that, or that, let's go for this. And so I really felt like it was being built up from the ground up. We had certain things to go on, like Neil and Terry's descriptions of certain things in the book, but there was a lot of leeway there.
A lot, and actually, because Crowley is described as a sort of very sharp-suited character in the book, and we had decided, well, I mean, we sort of moved towards something a bit more of the now and a bit more sort of rock and roll, I suppose, because it feels like that Crowley sort of leans into whichever era he finds himself in. And so it felt like that had to be more of this moment rather than
late 80s, early 90s when the book was written.
Exactly, yeah. So and that's where I first realized how collaborative Neil was, because he would have every right to be going, this book was written, it was a huge success, we're doing exactly. But he was very into you bringing ideas and discussing what that might be and how this look might serve the character that he had written. That continues to be a very positive part of the experience.
You know what it's like when you don't know anything at all, and yet you're totally certain that everything would be better if you were just near one particular person?
No, certainly not.
Well, and David, your contacts are probably some of my favorite contacts in anything. And so can you talk about, are they really uncomfortable or?
They're a bit uncomfortable. I mean, but they have my prescription in, which is very helpful. But you're only seeing through a tiny slit, and filming at night with the contact lenses and the sunglasses on top, I'm fairly hampered. But it's a small price to pay.
Because at times I feel quite jealous of David because he gets to try so many different looks, and then I watch him having to deal with the contact lenses, and I don't feel jealous anymore.
That's definitely understandable. So I find the dualities in your characters to be some of the most intriguing aspects of the show. And so for you personally, do you guys prefer the more subtle moments of your characters, or the times where you get to really go like eccentric?
Well, they still go hand in hand in a way.
Part of the same continuum, really.
Yeah. I mean, I love the moments when Aziraphale just feels pure joy about doing something. His sort of amateur enthusiasms like magic and dancing and that kind of stuff. But at the same time, by being able to sort of do those big, bold things, it's also then just wonderful to then do the scenes between us where we get to explore the much more nuanced and subtle stuff. Because I think that's sort of quite surprising then, isn't it? It's not what you would expect in this story.
Yes, Crowley spends a lot of time sort of snarking at Aziraphale and sort of undermining him and calling him out with cynicism, but then there'll be moments of unexpected pleasure in each other, which is equally delightful, I think.
Yeah, your guys' interactions in the show are absolutely amazing, and so thank you guys so much for taking this time with me today. This has been a blast.